Hi, everyone. Welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and it's been a hot minute. So I've got my background on today because I just thought, you know what? I don't know. Trying to turn my sound up. Sorry about that. Um, I put the background on because I thought it was nicer to look at than my blank wall behind me. So so you can admire someone else's lovely living room. So I have a few books to share with you today. So I'm just going to flip over to that page. And unfortunately, I don't have pictures for them. Still haven't gotten any software for that, just for the main reason that right now we're on one income. And as all of you, I'm sure know, everything is super expensive these days. So we're just going to use the theater of the mind for now. So let me just pull up what I've got here. So the first one I wanted to talk about was one that I had finished not very long ago. It did come out yesterday, and it's called Death at the Village Garden Party, and it's the fourth in the Cotswold Curiosity Shop books. I have not been reading them in order. I think I read maybe the first one and this one. I could be wrong, but they are very good, and I did get an advance copy from NetGalley. So thank you to them and to the author and publisher for that. And finished it just the other day. It's about Alice who lives in Little Pride, and she's dating Robert, who I don't know where he was living before. I feel like maybe London or somewhere, but anyway, he's moved there. But he decided to buy this manor house in this another little town nearby called Cold Bottom, which apparently gets a lot of razzing because of the name. But the people there are not friendly. They are quite cold as well. And even though he bought this manor house and he's going to actually be their landlord, they're not very welcoming. So he decides to throw a village garden party. Big mistake. Big mistake. So someone ends up dying, and then it's up to him and Alice to try to figure out what happened. And the characters are really good. The setting is lovely. Like it just really takes you out of time. I don't know, is it supposed to be lovely? I don't know if it's supposed to be like back in time, like the 50s or something, but it feels that way. Just something about the little villages and things. It just feels like it's back in time. But anyway, it was a really good story. Not sure. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not sure I'm that crazy about the romance between Robert and Alice. I find it a little, I don't know, a little stilted or something. Um, Maybe it's the British way. I don't know, but it just I'm not really buying it, like it's not selling me on them actually caring about each other that much. Robert's kind of, I don't know, he's worried a lot about his business and not so much about Alice. So in that way, he's not my favorite character. But I do love Alice. I do love her mother, who tends to come to stay a lot. She's lives further away, and she gets lonely. She has I think a rambling kind of house, and she really wants to spend time with her daughter. So in that way, I really enjoy that part of it as well. So, if you just want kind of a little break from reality, which is not always that pleasant these days, if you look at the news, this is a good book for it. It kind of takes you away from all that and puts you in a little village. So, for that reason, I do give it 4 out of 5 stars. So, some of the other things I've been reading, let me bring them up here. Bear with me because Goodreads, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it is so slow lately. And I think it's getting worse. I know I could switch to something else, but I am so invested in Goodreads. It's like everything I've got's on there, and I know how to find things. And so, in that way, yeah, I'm still here. So one of the other ones that I read, and I've read a couple of these now, and I've really enjoyed them. I don't know if let me switch back here so I can see what you're saying. Um, Yeah, okay. Anyway, Dudley made an appearance. I don't know if you could tell or not because I was on the Goodreads page. But anyway, I've read a couple of these stories. The first one was A Tale of Village Murder, and really enjoyed this. Gave it 4 out of 5 as well. This one was about Charity, and Charity has decided that she is going to move in with her friend Dorothy in a retirement village, and they have a lot of animals between them. They have 3 dogs, 3 cats, and this place will let them take them all, and so they're thrilled with that, and they decide to move in there. But they soon find something that turns out to be the key to a murder, so they get involved with that. Charity is very inquisitive, really, really good mind. And Dorothy is quite happy to let her do that and just kind of listen to what's going on and help when she can. Excuse me, it's early in the morning and that's my first coffee. So they end up helping to solve this murder in this tale of village murder. And it's another one of these cozy English mysteries, and really love these. And come here, Dudley. Dudley's got a piece of hair hanging out of his mouth. So I'm hoping he comes here to so I can help him, but we'll see. So the next one that I read by the same author, and it's the same 2 ladies, and this one was A Tale of Fair Play and Murder, and it was really good as well. I gave it 4 stars too. And this one was let me see, there was a oh, they were doing a cricket match, and it was the retirement village against some local club. It was all supposed to be just for fun, and anyway, someone ends up getting killed, and Charity is all over that and trying to find out who it was that did that. And so anyway, really like those ones. They're by Lucy Emblem. Thank you, Dudley. There we go. It gets he gets trying to look after himself, and sometimes his big old tail is so fluffy that he ends up getting all kinds of stuff off it. You're just going to kind of fade in and out with me having a background on. Yeah, if you're going to stay here, I'll take it off because I know that people love to see you. All right, let me do that. Oh, now you can't climb up here. I didn't say that. I didn't say you could climb up here. All right, you stay here and then we can do both. All right. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. So let me see. The next one that I read, and I have been using this app. I don't know what to call it. Is it an app, a program? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I bought this subscription to this thing called Peach, Peech, and I don't remember if I told you about it in my last video. If I did, I'm sorry. But I really thought at first I wasn't going to keep it, but it has grown on me, and I decided that I'm sticking with it because it will actually read all the books on, well, not all the books, but most of the books on my Kindle. And so I can use it just like I do Audible, and I can listen to books while I'm doing housework and while I'm running to appointments and things like that. So it's really helping me get through my TBR list, let me tell you. The books on my shelf are being sorely neglected. But what can you do? You got to find the time where you can, right? Um, so it's not, I won't say it's as good as Audible in some ways because even though I'm paying for it, there's not that many voices to choose from. It's a little harder to find things and to use than Audible. So at this point, I've kept Audible too, which I don't like spending the money for both, but they both are serving a purpose. So that is, kind of like a hobby. So that's I'm justifying that in my head. So anyway, the next one that I read, and I've been wanting to read her books for ages. I've got tons of them, I think, on my Kindle, and I kept saying, "Oh yes, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this." but this is the first one I've read, and it's called Heart's Ridge by Kay Bratt. And she's similar to Robin Carr if you've read any of her books. Um, so in this one, 5-year-old Molly walks into a gas station and she's alone, she's barely speaking, and this sheriff's deputy is determined to find out what happened and where her family is. So this Hart's Ridge is a place and it's nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So she's the police officer is Taylor Gray, and she's lived there since she was a kid, and she started out in poverty and in foster care, and she really doesn't want that for Molly. She wants to find out like what's going on. So she is she's looking around, she's trying to figure all this out. Um she's not respected the way she should be, being a female officer. And there's some people on the force that are fine with her, and then others are really jerks. So she really has to work to try to get some respect and to find out what's going on. And I feel for her because there's times in the books where it's like, it just, makes me crazy the way that they talk to her and the way that, they spin things so that they're the ones that, solve everything. And it just makes me want to, jump in the book and shake some man. but but it is a really good book, and the story is excellent. Characters are really good, and this one is a standalone novel. But the Heart Ridge mystery series continues after that, so definitely going back to that. The next one I read was called A Flaky Alibi, and this is the first in the Stony Brook. No, it's not the first. This is the fourth in the Stony Brook mysteries by Aaron Scott. And this one wasn't bad. It was about this Hadley who is getting ready to judge the Grand Bake Off, and she's doing okay, but then the front runner is murdered, and her friend Mickey becomes the main suspect. So she's trying to sift through the clues and figure out who it is that did this. Meanwhile, she's got to keep this competition going because they've already started it, and it's there's people in there whose mothers are, like they're adults, but yet the mothers are, freaking out because, their baby might not win, and, like all kinds of drama in it. So I really enjoyed that one. I'd probably give that one, I would say probably 3 stars, but, it was still good. Then there was one, let's see, I don't think I even finished this one. Let me see. It was called The Ex-Wives Club, and it was by Sally Hepworth. Um, I don't believe that I actually finished this one. I did start to read it. It was about this celebrity chef that's found dead in his freezer, and all his ex-wives would have loved to kill him, and his daughter would have loved to kill him. But I don't remember who did it, so I'm assuming maybe I didn't get through it. Oh no, I think that's what it was. I think it was a series of short stories. And when I kind of finished the first one, it threw me that it was a short story, and I just kind of gave up from there. So, the story was okay, but just wasn't really my thing. But, I'm sure that other people would like it. Um, I read The Housewife, and I'm just waiting for Goodreads to catch up with me here. Let me see, where did it put it on my list? Problem is too, it just does not put everything in a row. Like, this is what you read yesterday, this is what you read the day before. Like sometimes you really have to go looking. And that looks like that's going to be the case with this one. Anyway, I can remember most of it. So what I can't remember is the name of the author. So bear with me, it'll come up here in a minute. But it was about this woman named Jody and it was very much out of my comfort zone, but still enjoyable. So it was this woman named Jody who is in jail, and it starts out with her talking to her sister. And at first, her sister is very much like, oh, I married this man and he's so wonderful and blah, blah, blah. And then her sister starts saying that like, oh, I'm afraid, and like barely talking to her, and all of this. And anyway, before Jody is out of prison, she finds out that her sister committed suicide, and she's like, no, I don't think she committed suicide. So she ends up getting out of prison, and we find out afterwards that she is actually a serial killer. And so that was kind of a shocker. But she has told her sister over the years, do not tell your husband you even have a sister. Like, you don't need to deal with that. He's going to think that, it reflects badly on you because your sister's a serial killer, blah, blah, blah. And so, anyway, she gets out of jail, and she um, manages to kind of insert herself in the husband's world. And then she tells him at one point, after they've been dating a little bit, that she's pregnant, which she is not. And he ends up marrying her. And then she, mysteriously loses the baby, right? So at that point, she's in his house, and she's struggling to find out what actually happened to her sister. Really good, really twisty. Now, I will say that if you, it's definitely got some trigger warnings in it. There's things about their past, which was absolutely awful. At least hers was. I don't know about her sister's. It didn't really, her sister seemed to somehow not have problems with the parents. But Jody certainly did. And it was, yeah, it was quite bad. And they go into it in more detail than I would have cared for. But I guess they were trying to really get across the point that, how messed up she was. So that one was really good. I would say, oh, yeah, I would give that one 5 out of 5. I mean, I didn't necessarily care for some of the description, but that's my own issues. That's not anything to do with the author, so I don't want to mark her down for that. So I would give that one 5 out of 5. It's Let me type it in because Goodreads is just not my friend, um, and it's not coming up with it at all. And I really want you to know who wrote it because if you're going looking for it, I need to give you that. Natalie Barrell, that was the woman, or no, sorry, Natalie Borelli. My eyes, it's like, oh yeah, there's an eye at the end of that. And I'm just bringing it up here now. Bear with me. Let me let me share my screen, and then you should be able to see the way the book looks. Da, da, da. I know. Oh, here we go. I was going to say, I know there's a way to do this. I'll tell you, I feel so old sometimes when I use some of these things. And I'm actually pretty good with most of them. So, anyway, here we go. Okay, so that's what the book looks like. So you'll be able to find that one pretty easy. And like I said, I did think it was very good, very twisty, but very good. So I'm just gonna leave us sharing the screen so that you can maybe that's the screen. Okay. See, I'm just gonna get mixed up now. I can see it coming. We know how this goes. Okay, there we go. It came back. Okay, so let me tell you the other things I read. Okay, so I read Across the Ages, which is the fourth in the Timeless series. And I have been reading those in order. So, pat myself on the back for that one. This one was about Caroline. So she exists in 1727 and 1927. And again, just like all the rest of them, she goes to sleep in one place and she wakes up in the other. And when she turns 21, I think, she has to make up her mind which one she wants. And I don't know, I wasn't as thrilled with this one. I'm not sure really why, but it did not hold my attention the way that the other ones did. I don't know if it was the time that she was in that I didn't like or what exactly it was. But she's a pirate, I think, in one, or oh yes, she disguises herself as a cabin boy. And so she's sailing to the Bahamas because she wants to know where her mother came from. And she finds out her mother in that timeline has left her father and become a pirate. And so she's trying to figure that out. And then in the other one, she's the daughter of this preacher who is really trying to stifle her. And she is trying to deal with that. She tries to, oh yes, her brother, one of her, she has two brothers, and one of them is a police officer, but he's on the take. And the other one, I don't think the other one is as bad. But anyway, she's trying. Oh no, that I remember now. The other one is uh, has a wife, but he also has a mistress, and the mistress is pregnant. And anyway, she's trying to protect her father from all of these things. And, like most things, the truth eventually is going to come out. So it wasn't bad, but not my favorite for sure. Okay, let's see what else there was on the list. It's so long between times that I talk to you. It's there's usually quite a few books that I've read. And of course, sometimes I get confused with what I already told you and what I didn't. So we're probably near the end. The other one I wanted to tell you about, though, was The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. Oh, this one pains me. I am a big Kate Quinn fan, as most of you know, if you've been here more than a minute. I have loved pretty much all of her books, really enjoyed them, but this one, not so much. She normally writes historical fiction, and this seems to be her first jump into fantasy. And I'm hoping she jumps back because I this felt very almost forced. Um, it's got a good premise to it. This woman, Alex, is really had a crappy life. Um, she was in the foster care system most of her life. People have always been, letting her down. She's in a dead end job. The one kind of, half friend that she has is this guy who she does his books every now and again, and he's a struggling fashion designer. I like him. The character is good, and frankly, the Alex character is good too. The other one was Bo, is his name, and he's quirky and funny, and loves fashion, and calls her the Czarina, and they have a cute friendship relationship. And anyway, so Alex goes into this library and ends up going through this secret door and discovers the astral library. And in there, time doesn't pass, and you can find a book so long as it's in the public domain, which I thought was kind of cute. And you can jump into that book and live your life there. Now, you can't live it as one of the main characters, and there's a bunch of other rules, but you can live it as a side character and just stay there, and no one can find you. So that's what's supposed to happen. And, there's a lot of problems that go on from there. Now, I won't tell you the whole story, but what I will say is that it felt very young adult. I don't think it's supposed to be, as far as I know, but it certainly felt that way. It had far too many things about fashion in it, and even about books, really. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love, talking about books, but this one at times went a little too far, and but definitely too far with fashion. I learned more about fashion than I ever needed to know, and it was just on and on and on about it. And didn't really, in my opinion, didn't do anything to move the story forward. And like I said, the whole thing was felt very young. Um, and it just wasn't up to her writing. I know that she's a fabulous writer, and this one just did not do it for me. So sadly, I'm going to have to give this one 2.5, rounded up to three. So again, certainly not my favorite. So, it's too bad because I really had high hopes for this one, knowing the way that she writes. But anyway, I guess this type just isn't her thing, maybe. Or maybe it was just the way I took it. But anyway, read it and see for yourself. Um, and then I will tell you about one that I just finished, and we'll leave it there because I'm not sure what other ones I have told you about. But I just finished one yesterday called Undercurrents, and it's by Nora Roberts. So, and of course, it's not going to come up because I want it to. Maybe if it's words. There we go. So uh, this one was another one that was outside of my comfort zone, and I don't know why I'm reading these lately, but you want something a little more exciting sometimes, and that comes with apparently with trigger warnings. So this one may not have had trigger warnings, but it certainly should have, because it's about Zane and his sister, who, okay, his aunt's name is Emily. I can't remember his sister's name. It doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, so Zane's family, excuse me, Zane's family is from the outside perfect. He's got a little sister. He's got a beautiful, page-worthy mother. He's got a famous, well, famous in that town anyway, father who's a doctor, and everything looks wonderful. It is not wonderful. It is so far removed from wonderful. His parents are incredibly abusive, and um, that if you've had um, dealings with people like that, I flash in big red letters, trigger warning, because it does give quite a description. Um, Very hard to read, but there's a purpose. So it starts out with them dealing with these parents who are very abusive, and they're just young children. And once the story moves forward, um, I don't want to tell you too much of it because it'll give a lot away. But once the story moves forward, we end up with Zane being all grown up. And he ends up meeting this woman who has suffered something similar, but with an ex husband. So they end up, bonding, and not over that really, but just over other things. They really connect, and they go through a lot together that has to do with their past. And I thought it was really good. Now I looked at some of the reviews, and some of the reviews actually were not great, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good, very twisty, a little bit predictable, but I don't know, I really thought it was well written. So I would, if you can handle that kind of book, I would highly recommend it for the story because, again, Nora Roberts, for the most part, does a really good job. And so I really liked this one. It was full of a lot of suspense. It was full of, a lot of mystery about, what is going on. And the characters I thought were great. Really, all of them, even the ones that were absolutely horrible, were really good at being horrible, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I would give that one 5 out of 5. Really did enjoy that one. So right now, what I'm reading is another one that I got from NetGalley, which actually should have been read before the one that I just finished, but I couldn't get it to open on my Kindle. And it has now, and I'm reading it and everything's fine, but for some reason it took me days to get it to actually open. I don't know why. But it's called The Village Detectives and the Deadly Brew. So I'm working on that one. Um, I don't know when I'll be done. It's already come out. It came out on the 28th. I'm probably still a week away from finishing it. Um, we're wonderful husband and I are working on the second of the live ship traders. This one's called Mad Ship, and we've really been enjoying Robin Hobb. Sorry, we've really been enjoying Robin Hobb and this whole series of hers. It's very I don't know. like it's got a lot of mystery in it, where I'm wondering, what connects one part with another and what's going on. The mad ship is actually, there's in the story there is something called wizard wood, which is wood that actually kind of contains, I don't know how you describe it, kind of contains a life, I guess, or kind of comes alive. But anyway, with this one ship, and I don't know how he's connected to everything else in the story yet, but there's one ship that went mad, and I guess it looks as though they killed their crew. And so the ship was kind of tore apart in some storm or whatever, and it's now on where is it? It's on a beach, and has just been left there because nobody dares to fix it up and sail on it again. Excuse me. And then there's another ship called the Vivacia, which is another live ship, which is what the first one was. And this one has been really good and seems okay, but somehow there's these snakes that follow it along, and it is somehow connected to these. And I don't know how, and it's very confusing, but I'm kind of along for the ride. There's part of me that thinks the snakes used to be dragons, and I don't know, somehow it's all connected anyway, but I'm sure we'll find out in the end. But it's a trilogy, so we're probably not going to find out this book. And then the last one I'm reading is called The Island of Sea Women. Not very far into that one, although I need to like hurry up because it's for my online book club and really have, I don't know what Dudley's chasing, but he's got something. But it's so far I'm not loving it, but I think I just need to get a little further into it. So we'll leave it for that. Leave the review there for now. We'll see what comes of it. So that's what I've been up to, other than, going to all kinds of appointments and enjoying the summer a little bit. It was supposed to rain today, and we had kind of decided we weren't going to get to do what we wanted to do, but now the sun is out. So we were looking forward to going down to the public gardens, which are beautiful this time of year, lots of flowers and flowering trees and things, and just a lovely space to walk around and kind of enjoy nature. But the weather changes so quickly here that one minute it can be, beautiful sunshine, and then an hour from now it could be pouring. So we'll see, when we're ready to leave, what it looks like, because I really don't want to walk around the gardens if it's crummy out. It's just not nearly as interesting. And that I froze with the worst expression on my face. I don't know if that's going to come through, but hopefully not. So anyway, that's what's going on here. I hope everybody's having a great summer. I hope you're reading something that you absolutely love. And if you are, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I'm always looking for new things to read. And now that, I'm going through my TBR more quickly, I let's just add to it. Why not? All right. So have a great day, friends, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.